And now we will learn in this surah, Allah Azza wa Jalla says very next words, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٍ. In their hearts there is a disease. Hypocrisy is a disease. Now if you are sick and I am sick, how are we supposed to know if we're sick unless we know the symptoms? Isn't that true? So the only way to know if you and I have the sickness is to look for the symptoms. Now this surah will give us some symptoms, other surahs will give us even more symptoms. So we should constantly be on the lookout for these things inside of us. When there's a serious disease out in society, like the bird flu or whatever, right, swine flu, you take any farm animal, put a flu next to it, and you come out with a new one, right? So when you do that, and they announce on the news that, if you're sneezing too much, or if you notice a little, redness in your skin or something, go see a physician, you might have a fatal disease or whatever. People start showing up to the doctor even if they're not sick. I think it's a flu. I think I have swine flu. I was scratching myself and it got red, and I better go to the ER or something. Because they're terrified this might be that disease. Well, if the Muslim understands that hypocrisy, nifaq, is a serious disease, then they should be looking for those symptoms. And even if they find the slightest sign of that symptom, immediately try to address it. You understand what I'm saying? So when Allah says, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ, in their hearts there's a disease. This is a heart disease. Seriously, a heart disease. A fatal disease. فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. Then Allah increased them in their disease. May Allah not make us from these unfortunate people. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And they especially have painful punishment. For disbelievers, Allah said they have great punishment. But then Allah took a step further for hypocrites. He said they have painful punishment. Alam is the meaning of pain. And alim means constantly painful. You know something about pain? If you speak to people who are suffering from a disease that causes them pain, they develop tolerance for that pain. So their tolerance goes up. In other words, if you're suffering the same way every day, the first day it's a lot more painful, the next day it's painful but not as painful as the day before. By Allah using the word alim, it means the pain is the same all the time. It doesn't go down. They don't develop any tolerance to this pain. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. In other words, this punishment is worse than even the punishment mentioned for the kuffar. Even worse than them, subhanallah. This is the punishment of the munafiq. And when we study Qur'an, we'll see when Allah talks about the punishments of munafiqun, He's the harshest. Even more harsh than He is towards kuffar. Even though He's harsh towards them. Saying they have a great punishment is a terrible thing in and of itself. But He takes the next step with munafiqun. May Allah not make us from them. And understand that this surah, one of the things that's special about Surah Al-Baqarah, it deals with matters of the heart in great detail. It deals with matters of iman. And by contrast, you will find in Surah Al-Imran, in the next surah, there will be a lot of mention of Islam. So there's iman here and then Islam. First you fix what's on the inside, which is what? Iman. And then what comes out on the outside is Islam, right? So you find إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. You find all this mention of Islam in Al-Imran. But in this surah you'll find over and over again mention of matters of the heart. So let's keep on reading. فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ. In their hearts, especially in their hearts, there's a disease. فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. Then Allah increased them in their disease. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And for them especially there is painful punishment, greatly painful punishment. Unlike the kuffar, He didn't end here. He said, بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. Because of the lies they continue to make. Because of the lies they continue to make. The first symptom of the hypocrite has been given. Which is what? They're liars. And they lie continuously. بِمَا يَكْذِبُونَ is different. بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ is different. They continuously used to lie. This is istimrar here. Right? So this is something that's a very serious sign of hypocrisy. No lie is too small. No lie is a white lie. We have to look for them. We have to be conscious of them in our daily affairs.